Alright, hello everyone, it's Soul17 here, and let me give rules like usual. I do not own the pictures, nor, basically, I just own this, thumbnail. And, well, this is not a paid video. So, let's just say, this picture with the, well, see, I think that's someone's name, so, I just added the picture a little bit, and all that. So, let's add a picture. It's you'll find this picture on Google Chrome or Google. That's where I found it. And I was like, I wanted to have a picture of like different from the other one for the Naruto Predator one. So I was like, gotta find something, but I want to have like something cool so I can edit the picture a little bit and just yeah. So hey, so I give the credit to that person who did the drawing and picture, basically. So, yay. Anyways, this what if can be overpowered. Very, very overpowered indeed. I have my fan on, because it's hot in here. My mom is watching TV downstairs. I have a soda. I will have to pause the video real quick because I'm gonna put my phone on the charger. So, hold on. Alright, I'm back. So, we're just gonna give some backstory into this. And then we're gonna start right when he's 4. So, Inko is pregnant with Hasashi, who is an American. Well, and he is, how can I say this? He is a scientist for the government in America who has the last known part of the black light virus. So, what happens is, he knows this is gonna happen. All for One even is around and was around when the black light virus came about. He was around there, and that was a lot of damage to America. So yeah, but anyways, like I was saying though, Hasashi's tried multiple different things, simulations, just to see if Minko would survive anything. But he knows this is gonna put him in jail. He knows this is gonna turn his kid into something else. He doesn't know what though, but all he knows is he wants to save his wife. He wants to save his son, and child. He doesn't know if it's a son yet, but by the looks of it, it is. With the what they do and what basically with ultrasounds, basically it looks like it's his son. So yeah. So basically, they just want to know. So yeah, he knows, and they're still not. So basically, he just decides to go back to America and take the black light virus, gets back to Japan, and does some tests on this black light virus simulations, and along with a little bit of testing. And he just says, I have to save my wife and my child. I hope if you are sentient, which you probably are, I hope you can understand this. I'm sorry for what I'm about to do to you. Please forgive me. I know you're just you're sentient, so if you become, if you become my son and live a human life, a normal life, just know I do not care. I'll still care about you as my own child. Because he knows it's sentient, so yeah, he does some experimentations, but he doesn't, it's like not like a mad scientist way, but truthfully, he looks like a mad scientist, but he's taken the tests for the last P of the blacklight virus very slowly. He's being careful, making sure it doesn't get harmed or hurt. It's like painless for it, just in case I can feel pain at all. So yeah. So after it's all done, he injects Inko with it. And then Izuku was born. Perfectly healthy baby boy. Perfectly healthy, perfectly healthy and everything. The whole entire reason why Inko lived was because the black light virus itself merged with Izuku while he was still being developed, and well, it saved Jinko's life too, along with Izuku, but it just making the perfect body for itself. So yeah. So basically, when Izuku is 3 to 4 years old, no, 4 years old, before, like, he he did have a sister named Izumi. She's 2. So, Hasashi was taken away by the American government. He said bye to Inko, to Izuku, even though Inko doesn't know. Izuku remembers seeing his father leaving. He did leave, but this was like 2 years after. So, yeah, they finally found out. Izumi was, Inko was pregnant with Izumi, being born and everything. So yeah. And well, what happens though? This is where our story is about to start. So this is why Izuku was the Black Light Virus, Part 1. So, Izuku, it's a normal day for him. A normal day for him and his class. Bakugo Katsuki, got his quirk. He basically says, Deku's saying, "Hey Deku, if you get your quirk, I wonder what it'll be like." And, well, he knows but doesn't know it. It's like he knows he doesn't have a quirk, but he knows he has something else. It's on the back of his head. He remembers seeing his father's face. He remembered everything about him, what happened. He knows about that little thing, but he doesn't know why. So, yes. So, basically, this is a day where, these Bako, Izuku, and the rest of the class is outside. A villain starts running into the daycare, not daycare, runs outside the preschool area where all the kids are. Izuku was the nearest one. He runs over, grabs Izuku, throws Bakugo over to the side. Heroes are there, cops are there, and he says, "Stop, or I'll kill this kid!" As this guy has a hardening quirk, but allows his skin to become sharp. Become like a point as he pointed into Izuku. He's like trying to figure out a way how to get out of here. And then all of a sudden, a danger sense happens, like in him. Like it says, "Survive, protect." As then just as the guy's hero's about to go forward because he's thinking he's bluffing. He's about to try to stab Izuku. All of a sudden, black tendrils come out of Izuku's, shoulder and back, basically devouring the guy whole, eating him alive, basically. Everyone's freaking out over this, but, but it's like, if he didn't stop, the heroes know that was gonna eat the kid, like kill him, or kill everyone else then. So they weren't taking no chances. They were gonna try to severely injure him to near death. But, so when after it's done, Izuku's like panicking a little bit, wondering what happened, like how did he eat him, and the basically what happens is heroes and cops come over to him, including the preschool teachers. Hold on, I'm gonna find my dad's name coming, but preschool teachers come over, even some kids along with Bakugo. They ask him if he's all right. But he just says, "Stay away." He just like shaking, being scared. A pro hero and a cop come over to him and say, "Calm down. Your quirk just awoken." It's we don't. It's basically something that saved your life, kid. I mean, no one had a speed quirk to even get to you in time, so you were about to die. As Zuko goes, I know, I felt it, but the feeling of as he's holding his head because he's starting to remember everything what's happening. So he's hurt, like he's starting to know stuff. His mentality started to become like more mature now. I mean, well, his personality become more mature as he's slowly starting to stop shaking. As the hero says, "You good?" He nods and just like the preschool teachers come over to him and hugs him. Bakugo comes over to him and just saying, like, basically holding his hand and going, like, "Don't worry. It doesn't matter if your quirk's like this. We're still gonna be friends. It's just, And you saved your own life, Izuku. He doesn't call him Deku because at this moment he saw Deku was legit afraid. So yeah, this one Baku's a little bit nicer, just on when something's happened. So yeah, so basically everyone's covering Deku, and he's glad for it, but no one's afraid of him because they know how Deku is. He's nice and kind. It's just the quirk awoken, and yeah, hold on. So what happens is though, everyone's starting to come for him. The preschool teachers told Inko his quirk awoken. She basically gets over it very quickly, and they tell her what happened. As they say, Miss Midoriya, your son quirk awoken by a villain nearly killing him. And she asks, then where's the villain? Did the cops go? As the hero goes, no, his quirk ate the villain, and it seems that his memories or personality also change in the process. He's, how can I say this? Your son's seems to has matured a little bit more from the kids here, a lot more, but he still acts like a child. Intelligence of a 35-year-old man, as he says it looks like, but still a child. So as Inka goes, what do you mean ate him? So they explained it as she looks at Zuko with fear and dread, and her mind says, saying, he's a villain quirk. Hasashi never had this, but Hasashi said he said his quirk was something that would, be he's able to devour certain things, he's able to eat certain things that most people can't eat, which Hasashi in this one does have, just say this is Hasashi's, quirk, but it evolved into, tendrils just coming out of nowhere, just eating something, so yeah, and then he could spit it out and uses it, but, Inko's seeing it as a villainous quirk, since tendrils, tendrils came out and just, start eating this person alive, so she's seeing it as a villain quirk, and she takes Zuko away from everyone. Bakugo saying, bye, Deku. I'll see you again tomorrow. As Deku can tell he won't. So, Izuku, when he gets home, his mom immediately gets in her car. With Izumi in the back Izumi in the back while he's in the front with her. And she drives off. She drives all the way out to the woods in the middle of the night near a cliff. As she basically is dragging him out there. He goes, Mom, where are we going? Just shut up, you villain. You're a monster. And you deserve. As then when they get to the cliff, as she basically throws him off of it, saying to die, basically. As Zuko basically just looking at her with no emotion in his face. Just going, he has the look of I knew this was gonna happen. As she's just smiling, and she says, see you later, you villainous monster. As she backs away, and she's basically, turning her back to him, as then all of a sudden, he activates the quirk. He basically hardens his body, but it's also the quirk, which the villain quirk was, harden his body to where it would have looked like it had, basically a sharp object where it'd be like a needle, but here's the thing with the black light virus, it changed it and made it look like this. So I do not own this picture, what you're about to see. So yeah. To something like this, but without the claws. Yet. Alright? And I do not know what's in that corner in the left-hand side, and I don't know what that says. So what happens is, he basically lands on his back, crashing into the ground, and basically he deactivates it, gets up, and he goes he dusts himself off. He goes I knew she was gonna do this, but I had some faith that she wouldn't. No good mother. And she just walks through the woods. And he basically, what happens is, he's walking through the woods for a couple of hours, and he sees a bear. The bear just looking at him. Big and tall, on all the legs. As then Izuku with his, well, he basically hardens his body with the actual quirk without the, changing it for like full body armor just so him can actually get like a claw, like at that needle. As the bear does try to swipe at Izuku, as the next he basically jumps to the tree, jumps to the side, and basically plunges it right into the brain of the bear, as in deactivates it. And he goes like, I could take the claws of the bear and probably modify my body. Maybe. Why not? As then he just eats the bear, the dead bear. As then he does bring out the claws, and this is what they look like. But they, will look like when he's older because of certain things. He will eat like metal and such to increase their durability and such. So hold on. It's basically this. See the claws? It's basically this way. But for right now, it's just the claws, none of the actual spikes yet around it. So yeah. So it's just that. On both hands, he was like, I don't know. He deactivates it and just keeps going on. And then through the woods, after at least 2 more hours, he meets a man and something while he's training for something wrapped around his face. A white, not his face, his eyes basically. And then scar flown, like ripped and flown in like the mask. His hair is black standing up. He's basically, his outfit is, red and black, armor and knives all around him. And he goes, "Kid, what are you doing here?" He's like, my mom threw me off a cliff, and I killed a bear and ate it. So, trying to go deep into the woods, see what I can do. Which this man was like, "What the? Like, why would your mom do that?" As then he just goes up to a tree and starts eating it, like on his hand, and it just starts like going right into his palm, and it's being devoured. As he goes, "That's why I am a legit monster to my mom." So yeah, as basically this man goes, "Kid, you're not a monster. That's your quirk. You can't help it." So she just threw you off because of that. He goes, "And I also ate a man. So, it was self-defense. He did try to kill me. But, as this man is looking at him, he's like, okay, you know what? Freak this. You, me, I'm gonna I'm just gonna take care of you while I'm here. So, I have a hut. Well, not a hut. Basically a cabin that I build. So, let's go." As Izuku goes, "Alright, sir." He was like, "Don't call me sir. My name is Stain." As he goes, "Alright, Stain, let's go." As, Izuku follows him. Stain basically brings him up over to this cabin he made, and, he starts to talk to Izuku. More about him to get to know him better, and let's just say this is when he's 4, so let's skip to around where he is, I think it was 10? Yeah, around when he's 10. But over these years, his personality has changed because of Izuku. He does think of Izuku as his own son, but, not legally. He did not legally adopt him, so yes. But Stain does tell Izuku to stay in the cabin, always. You know, just if you need to go out, just go and eat a tree or something, that's all. He's like, he does call him dad sometimes, so yeah. And what happens is, Stain and him do get closer. Stain does not kill. No, he did kill heroes for a bit. And Izuku asks why, and then he says there are false heroes. Blah blah blah. They deserve to be killed. Blah blah blah. Izuku just says that's kind of stupid. He's like, what? He goes, look, I don't judge you because from my memories, as he goes, then Stain goes like, wait, what memories? He goes, when I devoured that man I talked about. So they, Satan kind of heard about this one time. He goes, okay, let's go and look something up. So they go into the city. They go to the library. They look up something that would, keep memories and such. And they find the Black Light virus. They research more and more about it, what it can do, what it happens, what happens to the person when they're affected, and basically all that. All that, but what happens when a Black Light virus, is actually getting a human form? it matches up with Izuku. So they do tests on him, and they find out that he is legit the Black Light virus. Because Stain legit cut off his head, and, well, Izuku was able to grab it, put it right onto him, and then they saw, like, Stain saw, like, the wounds just patched up. And, well, like, they literally, and he goes, oh, that explains it. And Stain legit told Izuku, does not make you a monster. This does not make you a monster. He emphasized, he says, and I believe you can become a hero. He goes, really? So this is when he was like 7, 6, almost 7 years, 6 and 7, so like in the middle. So yeah, so then like he also teaches Izuku how to fight, how to use knives and weapons. Basically, he does get like some old like material, making like give him like metal sheets, like computers and such, and then like knives and daggers and such that the thing broke. He reuses them and just eats them. And basically, he does get the blade arm now. Like I'll show you, but he does get those added like claw effects to his. I mean, the added like, but not claws. The added edges to his arm claws now. But hold on. Okay, so here's the thing. This is what he can do. He can make the axe weapon now. He can make the blade weapon now, and he can make the. Well, I guess he could also make the hammer weapon. Since he does have some metal, he can also make the shield. So, yes, and the scythe. So those are the weapons, those are the things he can modify now. The spikes, I do not know yet, so I'm going to say, like, he'll have to eat, like, some earth and mix it with wood to make spikes. That was some metal, so yeah. So, like, earth and basically. So, yeah, he could do the spikes. He has been eating enough metal. He will have to, like, eat, like, a specific thing for this. But he's only like 6 and 7 when he can just do this. So he's going to have to learn a lot more, get more biomass. So yeah. So hold on. Alright, so turn back on my fan. Sorry, but anyways. Izuku, basically, that's too loud. So Izuku, and when he was 8, he gave Stain a actual black and red blade from the Black Light virus. He literally made it for him. And Stain is not a hero killer. He is a vigilante. He does go after false heroes and protect people. But the false heroes get like all the information on them. They do then get the cases and they do arrest them. Then, like if proven guilty, they go to jail. So the hero society is being cleaned up by Stain. That when he was 8, and then 9 years old, nothing really happens unless besides the same old thing. But Izuku, when he's 9. Throughout this time, besides eating and training with Stain, he has played a lot of video games. He basically learned that he can morph his body into something with Stain too. Because he wanted to wait till he was a little bit older to not mess with himself. So he waited till like he was 9. So yeah. So basically Izuku can turn his hand into like that dragon mouth, that beast mouth you saw. And now, like since he knows what a shield looks like, he can even make that shield. So, if you want to, go back a little bit to when you saw the picture. So yeah. Anyways, I'll bring it up again when we get to a certain part. So yeah, but anyways, Izuku is he's seen this slime and dragon and everything else. He played way too many of this game that's very long, and he just thinks, can I turn myself into this? As in all of a sudden, slime form. He goes like, oh my god, I'm a red slime! And he just starts moving along as a slime. When Stain came back, he goes, Izuku, and then he just sees that slime moving. He goes like, Izuku, did you turn yourself into a slime? He's like, yes. He's like, I'm proud of you, but I'm also mad at you. You did not wait till I got home. That's alright. You can do it. As long as you can turn back. And then he easily turns back with his clothing on. He was like, sorry about that, Dad. He was like, it's no problem. Come here, little champ. As basically he just ruffles Izuku's hair, which is not green anymore because he does not want to be reminded of his mother, so he just keeps it black. And it has gone long. I mean, he does make it is like not like, it is straightened, so yeah. He does have like a little bit of like muscle on him now too, like lean muscle for a kid his age. So yeah, so that's when he's 9. He can he can turn to like a little dragon, be more biomass. He can like increase himself. The thing is though, he knows he can affect animals, but it's like he doesn't want to do that yet. So yeah, so this is when he's 10 now. Stain, like, he has made walkie-talkies to talk to Stain, because he ate technology and such. He made walkie-talkies that would, well, not walkie-talkies, more like earpieces, where he just get in contact with Stain very easily, tell them when someone's in the forest and such with his, like, little spy cameras that he, is connected to automatically. So, a group of villains are going into the woods, running away from heroes. So basically, he gets in touch with Stain and goes, "Hey, Dad, some people are coming to the woods, villains. I'm going to, well, remember that whip you have in the room? In your room? Basically, that you were trying to learn how to use?" I was like, "Yeah, what is it? Do you mind if I eat it?" He was like, "Sure, I'll just have to buy a new one then, but, don't hurt no one." He was like, "Okay." So he goes over to Stain's room, which has knives and different weapons, but he has a whip and some rope. So he eats the whip, and then he eats the rope. He says, "I also ate the rope you have in here. Sorry." He's like, "We have plenty. I have plenty in my closet. Just put the villains in your closet, basically. Alright, kid?" He's like, "Alright, Zoo?" He was like, "Sure thing." So that ends the call, and he goes out. He basically jumps up, makes the claws into the trees, and just starts jumping through the trees, moving like the Predator would have, but able to crash on a tree and just move his body very differently. So, through this motion, he finds the villains basically all in one group. As the heroes are annoying. Did we lose them? Oh, I'm out of shape. He's like, "Of course you're out of shape. All you eat is donuts and burgers." He's like, "It's not my fault they're delicious." He's like, "Shut it, you two. We have to get out here before a hero comes in." As then Izuku basically lands right in that little circle where they are. As the villain, looking at Izuku goes, "Come here." As then all of a sudden, black whip tendrils come out of Izuku, wraps around them as he jumps as them moving out, moving towards his hand as he grabs it. Then it spins it around and turns into a rope all of a sudden as it wraps around them all. And Izuku's basically going through the trees, dragging them along the ground as they are screaming, "Aizawa, Endeavor," basically Mirko, Dragon. I have to look at the dragon name. Hold on. And Ruki, the dragon lady, or dragon hero, basically hearing it as Aizawa says, "Come on, move!" As they basically run through the woods as fast as they can. And Izuku basically pulling right when he gets to the cabin, he basically opens up the door. He then says, "Get over here!" and pulls them towards him. Yes, I made that reference because he's played a lot of freaking video games from 6 to 8. From, basically 9. He always had video games. He just never touched them because of training, but now when he was 9, he did. So when he turned 9, he just started playing video games. So, he knows about Mortal Kombat. So, yes, that does exist in this universe. So, yeah, I'm just referencing it, but you just want to let you know that. So that's how he knows it. So then they get screaming saying, "This kid's a monster!" As then when they get thrown into his room, he basically also closed the door right behind him. He's in his room now. He throws them into into the closet of his room, and then wraps it around with some rope of the blacklight virus that he made, and then goes back to the TV and start playing video games, which was Mortal Kombat at the time. He was like, "Yes, yes, yes, come on, no, yes, 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 finish it, okay, combo, yes, there we go." Oh man, I can't believe I said that just like Scorpion. I had to try that now. I had to make his sickle. So, yes. So, yeah, I'm gonna make that reference now. There's so many references I can do with this, and I'm going to. So basically, after a little bit of while, Aizawa finds the cabin, they also were looking for the hero killer Stain, but they never found him too. But but as always says, I'm gonna go over here and well, you guys just stay here for backup. And which they go right, and Endeavor says, "Stay safe." Which he throws up a thumbs up, and when Aizawa goes to the door, he knocks on it. Izuku basically paws it, goes to the door. He goes with an instant, cinnamon roll look kind of face. He goes, "Yes, can I help you, sir?" He's like, "Yeah, kid, are you here alone?" He was like, "Yes." He goes to the door. He basically waits, knocks on the door again. Aizawa, he opens it, goes like, "Yes." He goes, "I have questions." He goes, "Oh, my apologies. I didn't mean to. My father always told me don't answer the door for strangers." He goes, "I'm not a stranger. I'm a pro hero." I was like, "Oh." So Izuku just bows him like constantly, like just keep bowing him, saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It's just I don't know what pro heroes look like. I'm mostly here because of my quirk. It's kind of dangerous, so we don't get too many pro heroes out here." As Aizawa goes like, "What do you mean of your quirk?" He was like, yeah. Actually, first off, why are you here?" He was like, "There were some villains around, and well, we're looking for them." He was like, "How many?" "5," he says. "You know where they are?" He's like, "Mm-hmm." He says, "Follow me." As then he goes to his room, as then Aizawa sees basically the rope around it, like this, basically area for like I really don't know what it's called, but where he puts his clothing in, the old-fashioned like wooden cabinet for clothing, Azuku basically doesn't take out a rope. He absorbs back into himself. Open the door as there's heroes saying, "Please," and not heroes, villains saying, "Please, please, take us to jail, take us to jail, get us away from this monster." Azuku says, "But that's so mean. I didn't do anything bad. I just captured you and put you in here. I mean, until my dad gets home, and then we're gonna take you to the authorities. But since the pros are here, take him away, sir." As Aizawa basically says, "Guys, come in. They're here. The pro heroes come in, the ones I said, and they take them." But he's like, "Okay, kid, can you show me why you're here?" And he was like, "All right, I can show you two things. One's well, when we get out there. So, yeah. So basically, what Izuku does is he goes, "All right. So my quirk allows me to morph my body into weapons, anything really, the ones I can think of. So, like so." As then all of a sudden, blade arm comes out and then basically slice through the trees. And then he goes, "Second, they allow me to do this." As the tendrils come towards the trees, and then he just devours them, eating them basically. As like the heroes and villains saw this, Aizawa was like, "Kid, that's amazing!" Like he's like shocked by this. Mirko is like, Aizawa, you sure about this?" He was like, "Yes, we can't blame the kid, like because of his quirk, but like seriously, kid, you are here because of this. Have you been in school anywhere? Where's your dad?" He's like, he's out there, and I mean, are you looking for anyone else, sir?" He was like, "Yeah, we're looking for Stain. He was the hero killer, but for a while, but then he became the vigilante. So we're technically looking for him. You know where he is?" "No, no, but my dad really is nice. He likes heroes a lot too. He told me by analyzing other, heroes from the TV that we have in there that I made." He's like, "Wait, you made the TV?" Which is like a flat screen. He was like, "Mm-hmm." So, I mean, he goes in and then he says, "See?" And then he basically absorbs the TV back into him, like, it being crumbled up, going back in. As he goes, "The thing is, though, I can eat anything from, and it just turns into biomass. It makes me heavier and stronger. It makes me heavier, but it also gives me a little bit of a super strength when I punch something. So, it's really quite hard to explain, but, you know." As he's just thinking to himself, "I hate acting like a kid like this sometimes. Like I'm just clueless about everything. Well, I have to." So yeah, so Aizo like, "Okay, kid, I'm sorry about your dad. We're gonna come back here sometime maybe and get him or talk to him. But here's the thing. I'm gonna take you with me to Nezu, and then we're gonna talk about something. All right?" He was like, "Okay, but can I just get something from my room real quick?" And he's like, "Sure." So basically, he runs to his room. he calls, like, he gets in touch with Stain. He goes, Dad, he goes, no, he stops using the innocent kid voice. He goes, Dad, Pro Hero Azawa, Pro Hero Razorhead's here. He's gonna take me to UA. If he adopts me, are you gonna be okay with that? And Stain goes, of course. It's better off if you become a hero. Do it if you take the chance. I mean, I'm not. I mean, truthfully, Izu, it's good that you learn and train from me, but I am the right guy to teach you everything. I can only tell you what I know, and I tell you everything. It's better off you would be with a hero. And he goes, you sure? I'm really gonna miss you. Like, I'll come visit you, alright? I promise. And if I ever get captured, I'll become a hero and visit more. Alright? He goes, yeah. I'll miss you. Sane says, I'll miss you too. And with his black sword in hand, he goes, on a building, he goes, because they hung up, he goes like, I really am gonna miss him. Well, time to get back to work. Can't set a bad example for my son. As he jumps off the building onto another one, running through the rooftops. He's not gonna go back to the cabin, but he is gonna go there when until it dies down. So yeah. So basically, Izuku goes with Aizawa, with him to UA. He does know about UA, so when Nezu gets there, he's like, not Nezu. When they get there, he's like, oh, Aizawa, is something wrong? He's like, yeah, this kid's been in the woods and, well, truthfully, he has a weird quirk. Maybe you can analyze it because, one, I know you have a secret lab in your office because of your cheese fetish. Well, not fetish, but your cheese, thing. Where you're just in love with cheese and eating it and so much. Sorry about that. I have not slept in about 3 days, so I need to sleep. Nezu chuckles, you're like, it's cheese addiction, Aizawa. And yes, I understand. He's like, seriously, my apologies, Nezu. I was just tired. I'm not even drinking any coffee either. So, I'm gonna go to the teacher lounge, get some coffee, come right back. If you want to use your lab to analyze the kids' whatever material it is, yeah, great. See ya. So, Aizawa leaves. So, Nezu presses a button and goes like, alright, may I have a piece of what he's talking about, child? Izuku. Izuku. So, Izuku gives him a little blob as he, takes it with tweezers. And he goes, so, what's this lab for, Mr. Nezu? Was it? He goes, yes. I analyze cheese here. Try to see if I can experiment and make the perfect cheese. My preference, actually. And I'm so close, but I also use this to analyze certain things, like materials. See if there's any incompositions that would, infect others or me. That I find. Because it's my school, so I have to be prepared for anything. So after a couple of, minutes, 30 minutes of him analyzing it, getting, data off of it, and even looking some research off of it, Nezu's just getting multiple times black light virus, and he's like, he's panicking. All of a sudden now he's he didn't notice, but now he's feeling his danger sense, it's on, he's on danger, let's run, but there's only a child, and then he's like, boy, do you know what this is? And that you have? And then he sighs and goes, so huh? Which Nezu's like, what? He goes, look, Nezu, you're probably gonna think, oh, I'm infected. I'm, infected with the black light virus. Is the black light virus host out there now, infecting other people? No. Here's the thing. As basically, his body starts to, from his chest to his, stomach line, stomach basically starts to open up where Nezu can see all his organs, which are all red and black, including like his inside of his body. Going like, I am the black light virus itself. And then it just closes it. And he's like, what? How is that? He was, look, it's alright. I can't explain it all, but you're about to probably get some government officials here in tech, so, or you already did, as Nezu's like automatically sending information to the government, and Momo Yarozu's father is a part of it. But bring your daughter to work day. It was so Momo's with him. They're already on the way, and as soon as Izuku basically sitting there, Nezu's just chatting with him about saying like, how do you know this already? How is this even possible? He was like, look, I researched it with Stain, the person who was taking care of me. Yeah, Stain, I'm admitting it. He's not gonna be there anymore. He's gonna probably ditch that place pretty soon. Well, he was, and he was gonna move me, but hey, he's just probably gonna drop me off at UA anyways. So look, though, I'm not gonna be a bad guy. I know my rights and wrongs. I know the good and evil. I know how villains are, heroes are. Basically, society is pretty crappy for heroes. Well, actually, for people who are false heroes, it's pretty good. Everyone thinks they're a hero. They basically abuse the system. For villains for people who have villainous quirks, right away they're judged, mistreated, and basically being like, hey, we're gonna freaking make you become a villain, and we're not gonna take any blame for it. So yeah, that's sort of way. And as it goes like, I see. And Aizawa comes back in, he sips some coffee, he's like, okay, what's wrong? He's like, hey Aizawa. He goes, hey, hello there, Mr. Eraserhead. He's like, Aizawa's like, wait, kid, what happened to you? Why is your personality changed all of a sudden? As then all of a sudden they hear a helicopter coming in. As then basically, Aizawa looks, he sees the government, and it's like some officials. Basically, the government plus the politicians and Momo Yarozu's father. So Mr. Yarozu, Mrs. Yarozu, and like basically Momo, with his daughter coming into UA. So he just says, wait a few minutes and I'll explain everything. He just have his hands in his pockets, his leg is crossed. Well, actually he's just sitting, like crossing both of his legs together in the chair with his hands in his pockets, just smiling. As Nezu's calmed down, he goes, oh, you finally calmed down. Good. I don't like to eat animals very much. It's too gamey. But I'll eat regular meat after cooked. I'm not a monster. Besides that one time I killed a bear. That's just besides the point, Nezu. That's besides the point. As Nezu says, I know from talking to you, I can tell you're not evil or a monster. You're normal, human. Yes, thanks. So, after, the officials, the government, basically the politicians, Momo's father, Momo's mother, and Momo comes in, Izuku gets out of the chair, he goes, hello there, Governor of Japan, politicians, Mr. and Mrs. Yarozu? Yes, I know all of you. Reasons how? Internet, libraries. I did a lot of research after my training. I learned everything I could, almost, just what I needed to know, just in case this ever happened. So, that's what I prepared for. So, you have questions, I have answers, hopefully, and I can basically explain everything it is. So, basically the governor says, are you infected? He goes, nope, I am legit the black light virus. I basically can reattach my head after it's cut off. I can basically regenerate my heart after it's crushed. The way basically you all know the way to kill the black light virus. So, it's gonna be a legit hard time killing me. But I'm legit am, so I literally am it. So even a harder time. They're saying like, have you killed anyone? Well, look at the incident. Preschool 4-year-old devoured a guy when his quirk activated. That was me. Saved a whole bunch of people too. Because if I didn't, it had a hardening quirk, so yeah. I'm able to use it though. So basically, I can take quirks after eating someone and use it. I can give it to probably someone else too if I'm thinking really about it, truthfully. It's a theory I have, though. But yeah. So, I mean, they just bombard him with questions one at a time, though, because he is a kid. Even though he is the virus, they know he is a kid. And after getting everything that they need to know, they go, alright, so here's the thing. You're born. We'll look it up. Actually, like, Nezu, could you look it up? He goes, yes, actually. Date of birth. So he says his date of birth, the year, what time, what day, and what hospital. Which Nezu finds it out so easily. And then he finds out what happened. And, well, I mean, he finds out that he was reported missing by his mother, but they gave up the investigation. He was like, oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that to you, Razorhead. The reason why my father adopted me, well, not really my father, who adopted me as, then as I wait, adopted? You didn't mention that. He was like, figured, better say father. Kind of, didn't tell the truth a little, sorry, but adoptedly, not legally, just took me in, just started raising me, found me in the woods. During that, well, when I was 4 years old and my quirk activated. When my basically power activated and I ate the person, my mother threw me off a cliff. She told me, "Die, you vile villain monster," and this made Aizawa extremely mad. Even Nezu, and for some reason the politicians and the governor. In which Aizawa looks at Nezu going like, "Oh." They both nod. Nezu nods at him and goes like, alright, Izuku, right? He goes, yeah, Izuku, not Midoriya. He's like, okay, so who was your mother's name? Inko Midoriya. She lives at this address. He just tells them, and basically, Nezu, warrant out for her arrest for trying to kill her child. In which Inko gets arrested, though, very quickly. With his little sister, supposed to be guardian. Mitsuki takes her in. So Bakugo was told by Inko killed Izuku, but killed her son. He can remember him. He goes like, wait, so she killed Izuku? Izuku? And Izumi doesn't really understand intelligent quirk. It's like a part of her brain. It's a mutation / intelligence quirk, so she understands. But she goes, he can't be killed. I mean, I remember him. He didn't look like he could have been killed. And he goes, yeah, his quirk wasn't villainous. It activated. Maybe if he could have, trained it more, he could have become a hero and all that. So, 10 years old. She's 2 years younger than Bakugo, too. So she's like 8. So, yeah. But she has like 10. But, so what happens is she's going to raise, Izumi now. She's Izumi Bakugo. It's still Izumi Bakugo now, but by name, but really not by blood. So, ship that. But anyways, so, back to what we're saying. So, it's, basically, after the warrant's out, after a few minutes, they get confirmation, she was arrested, she's gonna go to jail. Also, she's crazy, which Nezu says. He goes, how? She goes, basically, she was worried about Izumi, so harsh living conditions, not much happened. Like, she never really gave her much food sometimes, but when she realized her, but it was like because of her brain, so she thought maybe she had the exact same thing too, and this is just a distraction, but she was very, very paranoid with everything about Izumi, the daughter of her. And he was like, yeah, pretty much. After she heard about me, she probably went crazy. So, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. She's not my mother no more. I denounced her when she threw me off that cliff. So yeah, the politicians plus the governor and Aizawa are all wondering. So Nezu just says, Aizawa, how about you, adopt him? He's like, huh? Why me? He was like, well, you did say you want to have a child, but you don't think you're ready, so how about it? You adopt him. But he says, only on one condition. He goes, right? As long as, basically, not as Nezu says. Basically, as always says, as long as he can show us what he can do. Izuku did see miracle wings pop out. So, because she was carrying, she was like, flying above the ground a little bit with them, with like holding the guy. So it was like, you guys are gonna see that. But anyways, he goes, all right, let's get going then. So he gets out of the, he was sitting in the chair. He gets out. He sees a girl though, black hair, a little bit of a ponytail, standing right behind a man. He goes, hmm? Hi, I'm Izuku. Who are you? She goes, she's like, shy, so she goes, I'm Momo, Yadarozu, standing right behind. And her father's like kind of being protective. So he's like, I'm not gonna hurt her. Jeez, I'm not no monster. As in he looks at him and goes like, don't ever freaking think that. If you do, what's gonna happen. I was like, what? He goes, I can literally wreck your company. From the inside out if I wanted to. Devour multiple technologies. Get a lot of biomass. And yeah. I don't like to be called monster. I ain't no monster. I'm a human. Well, I know what I am. I'm not really human, but I think I know I'm human. At least I have a heart and consciousness. I feel pain. I feel feelings too. So that kind of shocked, that kind of like made Momo's mom look at, Momo's father. Well, Mrs. Yarozu looks at Mr. Yarozu with a really angry look on her face, and he goes, sorry, kids, just, you don't... He's, yeah, I read what happened, and honestly, I wasn't a part of that. I'm not the freaking guy who started it. Alex Mercer, I'm not him. So yeah, so Momo comes out and goes, you're not really mean, are you? He goes, nope, I'm not. And you look like a very nice person. She goes, really? He goes, yeah. I mean, probably when you're older, you're going to probably become a very, very beautiful woman. Has her face blushing a little, he just chuckles. He goes like, sorry. Kind of have the mentality of the intelligence of a 35-year-old. So that means even pick up lines too. Sorry. She goes, it's fine. She doesn't understand what a pickup line is, but her parents do, everyone else does, so it's like, whoa, this kid. So he just does. But anyways, I mean, it'd really be nice if we could be friends. If, as Momo and Mom saying, thinking, Momo's, blushing because he said this, but let's see what happens. She goes, yeah, it'd be nice to be friends, as she holds her hand, and well, when he does touch, basically they do shake hands, but Momo's like face is going really red for some weird reason. Her heart's racing, as well. Momo's mom's seeing this. Momo's father isn't. Even Nezu's seeing this, and he goes, is little Yararozu falling in love with him? Nah, it could be, but it is. So yeah. So basically, he walks down to Ground Zero, and they say, like, all he has to do is destroy robots. He goes, alright, so then he basically brings out the wings, and if you see at the last part, he brings out the wings, as everyone's like going, what the? He goes, and then Zuko goes, I can modify my body, so it works. So yeah. So then, like, they go, and then he says, alright, then proceed, Zuko. And as it says, he just, good, right? As basically, a whole bunch of robots are coming out, as Zuko flies up in the air, goes, and, flying towards them. Basically, he brings out the whip, breaks one of them, flies, going upwards, though, loops around, goes back, grabs the robot, starts eating them, and then what happens is, making the blade, going right towards another one, slashes down at it, even cutting another one while sliding, brings back the wings. Then he basically, goes back and just eats like two, like these are the ones with the big giant arms. He eats them, and then he gets the hammer arms, basically. And then he does like smash one of them right across the face, one is right behind him, and then immediately uppercuts the other one right when he basically, coming out of nowhere at his blind spot. But when he does smash his foot into the ground, he does take a piece of the earth and like the concrete and devours it. And then he basically has his hands into a spike, and then he slams it down, breaking multiple robots that were basically coming into a line. at him as he's just smiling at this, and he goes like, too easy. As he rips it out of his hand and just dashes forwards. And in a matter of minutes, robots are being destroyed after the other and other and other. Just they don't know like what to do, but they don't know they should be afraid or basically amazed. As Zuko basically even turned his leg into a blade and just cuts one right in half. And he's just smiling about this. As basically Momo's just basically, amazed and just fangirling over this because this is like he's creating these weapons, and then all of a sudden a scythe appears out of his back, and then he just takes it, just swinging it around, basically his whole up above him, and just slice two robots in half, then two more again. He's not holding. He's basically saying, "Come on, bring out something out of a real challenge." As well, Nezu says, "No, we'll have to wait. Wait till you're older." He's like, I'm 10 years old. I can handle these foolish robots. As then he just slashes down right behind him, he made basically the whole entire scythe become like a chain scythe. As it whips right behind him and basically breaking the robot's head off. He's like, see? And he was like, well, that's it. That's all the robots we had for you for right now. But I mean, that was simply amazing, Zuko. So he basically brings back the scytheman to him. He's like, yeah, whatever. That was fun, but also boring. My game console! I forgot about my game console! Shit! He says, I have to go back to have to go back. He's pacing back and forth. And Aizawa says, well, go back and get your game console and your games. Don't worry. As then he looks at, Aizawa goes yes, thank you, father! And Aizawa's like, don't worry, son. And he was Aizawa says, I'm adopting him. No questions asked now. He's my son. And then all of a sudden Momo's running out of the room. And Zuko's Momo's mom is running following her, which her father's like, Momo, don't run! As they're following. As Nezu's chuckling, he's like, my son's gonna get a girlfriend. I'm watching this. Proud father moment right now. As he walks out. Basically. So, Zuko's getting to the door as Momo opens it, runs out. He was like, that was so amazing! I mean, you were like, pow, boom, slice, breaking, eating. That's so amazing. Zuko, I'm really, really impressed with you, basically. And he's like, thanks. She's basically getting even closer, and he's like, and, well, I don't know why, every time I just saw you being awesome, so amazing and awesome, my heart started pounding, my cheeks started getting red, and then she just kissed him on the cheek, which Momo's mom and father saw, and Aizawa, before even Momo got even hit him even near him, he said, my father, since our tickling, must get Momo a picture to embarrass him later on. So he runs, and right when Momo kisses him on the cheek, all of a sudden, Aizawa takes the picture, he's like, yes! And then he's waiting again just for something else that happens. Suddenly, Izuku basically turns into a slime. And then, right in mid-air, he gets a picture of him being a slime. As Momo catches him. And then she shows, mine. He's like, huh? Which Momo's mom just slaps. And Aizawa goes wait, what? Even her father's only wait, what? She goes, I said he's mine. Mine. Just meaning kid. And he's like, Momo, I'm a person. I'm not a thing. She goes, but I like you already. He's like, he's blushing even as a slime, and she's blushing too. Then Momo's mom goes, well, there's always a marriage contract we always do. As Momo's looking at her mom with a blush face, going, huh? If you guys are wondering why this happened, because me and someone I know worked on this thing, and this is one of the things. So Momo's father was why? I mean, he's, the black light virus. And he's a danger to society. No offense, kid. He's like, none taken. I understand. Even I'm questioning her logic. And, well, Aizawa goes he just basically looks at him making that chopping motion right from his throat. Basically, he's like, shut it. Let's hear it. As, he understands. So she goes, well, Momo here will be, need protection because of who she's her parents are,
And what better way to have the living black-like virus to protect her, along with to be her boyfriend slash fiance, because he is a human being. Well, morphed into the human being and has feelings, emotions now, lived amongst us, and well, learned from us. So he is a human. And this is when the governor, even the politicians, like heard, and he goes, "I agree." He's basically showing human emotions, even as a slime of all things. And they see his like the redness on his slime, the slime without he doesn't even have a face, but he's like just like a slime. Pretend like remember Tempest, that thing like not that thing that like and like that time I get reincarnation as a slime. It's basically like that, and he's like just like that version of the slime with no face, no eyes, or nothing, but he can like form them, but it's not really like that. And it's just, his face is blushing. He's like, this is embarrassing too. He's just thinking, and as I was just taking a picture of her holding him like that, he's like, precious moments. I love this. And as I basically as even like the politicians are agreeing with her, her Momo's mother's like logic. And well, the politician even says, and she does, and what does she say? And then Momo's mom says, she says he's mine, mine. So she already claimed him as well. He goes, there I have it. We'll get Nezu. He's like, right away. Marriage contract is coming. And he goes, but first I need to adopt him before we can sign it. He goes like, true. So the papers just after a couple of hours getting the papers ready and getting adoption agency person there, Aizawa signs the papers. Now Izuku just signs as Zuku, now Aizawa, because he just took the name right away. And then marriage contract between Momo's mom and Aizawa. Basically, they say, now you two are gonna get married when you guys are older, after you become heroes. Probably a little bit like when you guys are like in your mid-20s. Which gives them enough time, Momo's mom said, to decide if they really want to be together. This can be voided. May I, tell you both. If you two fall out of love, this will be voided. So don't worry. It's not like, permanent. As in Momo's father thinking, could I mess with this? As then Momo's mom just immediately slaps him right across the face, backhanding him though, and saying, you're not supposed to be messing with this. Let them have their thing. And let them decide. It's their choice, not ours. He goes, yes, dear. He's looking upset and defeated already. So, well, so basically, he got a slime form. Momo's just hugging him automatically, just, and she's just saying, like, I kind of understand what's happening. So, let's try to spend as much time as we can together, alright? Izuku nods, he was like, yeah, let's do that, Momo. So, time skipped to around 11 years old. A year later, him and Momo's, are becoming really close. I mean, Izuku had to go through the whole entire schooling thing for at least a year worth, but he went so far ahead of high school level or middle school that he already went to college level, and he's basically he could be done with it. He's basically done with that. He went to like advanced now. He's basically becoming smart as Nezu. So yeah. So basically, the whole entire thing now is Nezu, showed him everything that he knows and learned everything that he has. So yes, so he is as smart or even smarter than Nezu. But him and Momo, they do have feelings for each other, general feelings. They still keeping the contract. They're not gonna like void it or anything, but they're still having the contract, so that way, if Momo falls in love with someone else, they can be just like basically just be gone, and easily we'll get rid of. So yeah, but on this specific day, Izuku basically is walking by a park, As then these guys are picking on this girl with yellow, with blonde hair down, and even like a little like wild a little. She's crying and she goes, "Please stop picking on me." As they say, "No, you have a villain quirk, and you're gonna become a villain, so we're gonna treat you like one." As then Zuko's pissed, so he goes, "I hate bullies," and he just walks to them, and he goes, "Hey, punks!" They're, huh? And then blade, arm blade comes out. And he was like, "Pick on somebody your own size." As they run away, screaming out, "Villain!" As all top heroes, all about 50 know about him. So one of them comes out and hers, like, they hear it. Let's just say this was Ryoko. And she goes, "Izuku." He goes, "Sup?" And then he brings back his arm only. She goes, "Why did you do that?" As he points to the girl. He goes, "What? Bullies. They calling her a villain. I'm gonna find out why." He goes, "Alright, just don't do anything too drastic here." It's like, got it, don't worry. Auntie. He calls her auntie. He calls any female that, Aizawa knows auntie, and any male uncle. So he basically has multiple, even All Might. And I'm not even done with the part where I need to get to. Crap. Okay, speeding this up a little bit. So Izuku, goes up to her and like, "Hey, is everything all right?" You're just go away. You're gonna call me a villain too. She's crying. It's hard to understand her though through her tears basically. He goes, "Bring out your hand." She goes, "Huh?" Open it. She's like, "All right," and then little like claw pops out. She goes, "Huh?" He pokes it, and then basically back to finger. He touches her finger. Basically, absorbs her blood, sees all her memories and what happened. And this is enough to make get her quirk, but he doesn't want. He just wants the memories. So yeah, he's like seen all of what her mother does, says to her, treats her, and immediately he gets pissed. So he calls up, Aizawa. He goes like, "Dad, listen here. There's a girl named Toga Himiko. I'm just gonna say it's Toga Himiko. Basically, she needs help. Her mom's abusive with words. She feels like a villain. People are bullying her." As Aizawa goes, "Wait, what? How old is she? Same age as me." As then he's like, Aizawa is just saying like, "Where are you now? I'll come and get you both." As then he gives out his location, Bush Park, and in a matter of minutes, in the car, drives all the way over, comes over. He looks at Himiko, and she's crying and stuff, which basically, let's just say she has a mask that her mom makes her wear, and she's like, cries through it though. As he basically takes off the mask, they see her fangs, and she's just like really crying. Her eyes are puffy and stuff. As he basically Izuku goes over and hugs her. She goes, "You're not scared of me?" He was like, "No, no. I ate somebody whole once. So if I'm way more of a villain than you, but I'm still gonna become a hero." She's like, "What?" He does say, though, "I'm gonna become a hero again." Like seriously, it doesn't matter. People can call me a villain all they want, which they can. But my father here believes I can become a hero. Someone else believes I can become a hero. All top 50 heroes believe I can become a hero. So why can't you? She's like, "But my quirk, yes. So what if you have to drink the blood of somebody to basically transform into them and become them? There's a whole bunch of things where you can do is just transfusions of blood to basically like blood banks. You can just ask for this much blood if you have the desire for it, and stab a freaking dummy with it, with the blood there, and then you can just do it that way, or you can just drink it. It's all right. I mean, it's not your fault. It's your quirk. You really are a nice girl, Himiko." She's saying, "Thanks. You're the first boy who's ever been nice to me." He goes, "I have a girlfriend. I'm also engaged to her, though." She goes, "No, I don't like you. You're not my type." And he goes, "Hurtful, but fair. I am engaged, so, can't really say much of that." He laughs at that. He laughs, and, well, he looks at his father saying, "You're taking her in?" He's like, "Yes. Just give me the details of her." He's like, "Sure." Makes a little thing, like a little, like, where he can actually give people his memories, too, if he wants to. So, yeah, boop. Memory transfer. And yeah. So, that happens. And, he understands now everything. He's even more mad. So, he takes Himiko and Nezuko into his car, drives off. Basically, to Nezu, to adoption agency. You get in the papers and go over to the house. Basically, demand the woman of him, mother of woman. I can't imagine just that. The mother. He says, sign this woman. Like he said, that's what he said. But he's like, basically, it's really he goes to get Himiko's mother to sign it. She did have a brother, but not that. It's not Bakugo. So yeah, it's just she signs it saying, good, get that villain out of here. As Zawa and her go over into her room, he had like a duffel bag. Then he bought one, basically bring everything he can that's hers, which wasn't really much, truthfully. As then Zuko look at the mom, just saying like, "How dare you call her a villain? It's your gene that has this quirk. So if anything else, you're the villain here." Which she goes, "How dare you, brat? As in, don't ever try to hit me. If you do," claws pop out, full on transformation claws. It's like, "I'll rip you to shreds." And then she's like terrified. He goes, "Also, I can do this." As he just takes a paper, and then he basically showing it to her as the paper is being eaten by him. Like his hands just eating it. He goes, "If anything, I'm way more of a villain than her. But here's the thing. People still believe I can become a hero. Just because her quirk needs her to drink blood or have blood doesn't mean she's a villain. It's your fault, not hers." So yeah, Aizawa comes down. He sees Toga's mom upset and ashamed, and yeah, so he takes her. Her now is Toga Aizawa, and he does when he says get in the car. Both Deku and her get in. He basically puts the bag in the trunk, and they drive off. She asks, "So where are you taking me?" He goes, "To my home." He goes, basically, she goes, "Huh?" He goes, we're brother and sister now." She goes, "Wait, really?" He goes, "Yeah, and I'll make sure I help you out with your quirk. So that way no one will think you're a freak. Because you're not." And he pats her on the head, and she's like, thank you." And she just starts hugging and even crying again. And he's just kind of like, sis. So, yeah. And if you're wondering, is Zuko older than her? Yes, by a month. So, yeah. So, basically, let's just say this. So, what happens is, Deku is finally going to middle school because a year later, Toga has met Momo. She's always hugging Izuku. Momo gets jealous of it, but she does know it's his sister now. But still, they're not related. But still, and she does say to Momo finally, after 5 months of this happening, where she just gets this weird look in her eye, she goes, "He's not my type. Plus, I think of him as a brother. Don't worry, Momo. He loves you. He talks about you a lot after he comes home." And Izuku basically blushing red, mad, very, very tomato red. Momo just, hugs him, saying, "I'm so sorry." He goes, "No, it's okay." And his looks is basically becoming the perfect guy. Basically, when he's getting old, because he is the light virus, they would pick the best thing. It would pick the best thing to become perfect and all that. So yeah, black hair, tall, muscular, but he trains. So yeah. So what happens is though, since he's 12 now, he goes into middle school. First year of middle school. He basically goes to the same middle school as, Bakugo. Bakugo and him are going to the same middle school. If you're wondering about Izumi, no, she goes to a different school. She's too smart, so it's she doesn't go to the middle school. She goes to a private school, which has a scholarship, and it's not the same one Momo goes to. So yeah. So basically, him and Bakugo meet up, and he's like, "Huh? Who are you?" He's like, "Well, my name is Zuko Aizawa. Yours?" "Bakugo Katsuki." It's like, "Wait, Bakugo? Bakugo Katsuki? Kachan? Like, he called him Kachan, and he was like, wait, Deku? And they like, yo, it's been forever. I mean, he's like freaking out. He goes like, I thought you done. He was like, nah, man. I mean, I technically when I ate the guy, I basically got his quirk too. So it's like, hey. So he goes, what do you mean? He's like, he explains everything to him. And he goes, wait, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you about this. My uncle's All Might. He's like, no way. He's like, yeah. So they're basically catching up, chatting. He's like, don't tell Izumi about me, please, man. He's like, why? She'll be glad. He's like, dude, I'm a legit monster, kinda. I am a monster. I'm not human. So I want to keep her at a safe distance. Also, I have another sister. I don't want her to get jealous. I'm trying to keep one of my sisters safe from me, because Inko's influence too. So I don't want her to freak out. I want to tell her when I can, when I'm ready to. He's like, all right. What about your sister? She knows everything. She doesn't call me a monster. She says it's not my fault what my dad did. I mean, I hate him, but I don't. I kind of love-hate relationship with him. Because it's understandable. So, they chat, and for that whole entire year, they're best friends. Their friendship's rekindled. He does tell his mom, but, when they go over, Aizawa explains to Mitsuki about the situation with him. So, yeah, it's like, hey, they keep the secret from, Izumi, because it's his choice. So, yeah. So, anyways, when basically Mitsuki was told, like, show pictures of his girlfriend, Aizawa does, like, spill the beans saying, like, actually his fiance. And she's like, when? 10 years old. She's like, really? So she's like at Zuko with the thumbs up, and he's like, no. And then Bakugo's like, what's wrong? He's like, nothing. So yeah. But, so that whole entire middle school year, when it near ended, it's basically like, Nezu says, you are too smart for school. So I'm sending you to the place where Momo, is. He's like, really? Yes. It's obvious that you and her should be together since you are, well, a thing. Plus, you are her fiance. So yeah. He's like, thanks, Nezu. Well, he calls him Nez. He says, thanks, Nez. He goes, no problem. So yeah. So, the next year, he goes to her school. First day, he walks in, like, he's just there. He knows all the girls are looking at him, blushing. They think, perfect guy, because he does look like one. I'm not gonna, use your imagination, but basically, he goes to the classroom where he goes to with Momo in it, and then as soon as she sees him, he sees them, he sees all these guys are talking to her, trying to ask her out and stuff, and Momo's just ignoring them. But then she sees him, she runs up to him and hugs him right away. She goes, Isu! Basically. And, like, he goes, hey, Momo, what's up? She goes, nothing much. You? He goes, everything's okay. Just first day of school. Girls look at me. Kind of annoying. Like, right away, when the girls looked at him, they were blushing. But then when they say Momo hugging him, and they're like, oh, they're just friends, probably. And then, he basically kind of smirks at this. He basically takes her by the chin and just kisses her real quick. And then, like, all the girls are instantly jealous along with the guys. Todoroki's not there. Todoroki does have a crush on her, just to let you guys know. But it's like, it's gonna fade a little. It's gonna fade, though. It's just like, he had a crush, but it's fading away slowly. So, yeah, don't worry about it. But it's like, he didn't have a chance anyways. So, she goes, Iksu, why do you have to do that? He goes, sorry, princess. Couldn't help myself. He's like so cute when you blush. She's like blushing even more now. Her face is in his chest because he's taller than her a little. And Bakugo sees it. He goes like, oh man, you got a girlfriend already? As Bakugo, is there in the outfit that they wear for the uniform, as then Deku says, nah man, fiance. And he goes, wait, what? When? 10 years old when we met. He's like, what? He goes, yeah. And I think the specific reason how it happened was, well, this. As then, boop, he turns into a slime. And, well, then she holds him. She goes, mine. And, like, all the girls are jealous even more now. He goes, can I get out now of the slime form? She goes, mm-hmm. Well, you have to go back in afterwards. He goes, like, fine. So he jumps out of her arms, turns back to normal, all the clothing on basically, because he can choose to have the clothing on or not. Because well, he is the Black Light Virus, so he can make it. So yeah, turn off my fan. But anyways, so Izuku basically goes up to Bakugo. He met All Might. He knows it's Toshinori, Bakugo. Um, I'm saying Bakugo's mom is that's their name. Is his name is Toshinori Bakugo along with his sister. So yeah. So basically, Mitsuki did not want to give her last name, and her husband was willing to get rid of his last, so he was okay with it. So anyways, she's like he basically puts his arm around it, like no, not arm. He basically fist bumps him. He does get like now the DNA of like the whole entire knowledge of it, and then he actually could sense a little bit of one fall when it's coming into him and it's like overcharging. So then he's like, oh crap. So basically he puts his arms around Bakugo. He's saying like, hey, you may need to call your uncle to do with one thing that is for all of us. As he's like realizing he's what he means by. So he calls up his uncle. He says exactly the same thing what Deku says, and All Might even knows what he is. So it's like, hey, okay, I trust you. So yeah. So basically, Momo says, "Now slime, want my slime boy. I mean, well, wants my boyfriend in slime form. Basically, holding her arms like that. He goes, fine. And then Baku kind of chuckles, like, really? Wow. She's demanding, isn't she? He goes, no, not really, but she just finds me cute in slime form. So he turns into a slime. She picks him up and says, mine. And walks over to the desk, just holding him. And just like, smiling. They're talking for a little bit. And like, one guy just says, hey, um, why do you like him so much? Why not like me? As it's like, Todoroki walked in, and this is like a guy that was in the past kind of a stalker towards her, so he's about to say, hey, back off, and then Deku just says, does it show you the reason why? She says, no, only I get to see. And they're like, huh? And he goes, nah. He basically comes out of slime form, sits on her desk right in front of her, as well. Like, no, he basically doesn't have, basically, jacket's open, the shirt's gone underneath. All the girls nosebleed as they didn't no one see, but one girl saw she had an instant nosebleed as even about to faint. Not Ingo, as basically, sorry, something happened. Hold on. Okay, sorry about that. But then as Momo basically closes the jacket up, he goes, no, 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 not now. He's like, fine. I was just trying to show him the reason why, but hey, whatever. Shirt comes back on. He was like, see? Which they were like, what the? He was like, yeah, you can't beat me. By any means, I'm just better than you. He gets off her desk. He then like gives her a quick kiss on the cheek. He's like, I'm gonna go back to my desk. Go to my desk now. See ya. She goes, we'll talk later. So yeah. So then the teacher comes in. He knows about Momo and Deku's like relationship. So he's like, Izuku Aizawa? He's here. He's like, your grades are excellent from your last school. Top student of the class, and basically made that school's grade point average go up a lot. So, welcome to such and such school, and I hope we have a great year together. And Bakugo Katsuki, he gives his acting speech too. So yeah. So then after that, Bakugo, All Might, Momo meet up. Which Momo goes like, All Might? And he goes, Momo, you remember All Might basically in his, she goes, yeah, I know. We just have to, she calls up her ride, and they go, when they all go in, they go to her house. Oh, back to Bakugo's place. Izumi's not there. She's after having this like a school like club. It's like the first day back. Club happens. So yeah, Momo goes in. She meets Mitsuki. Mitsuki's going like, "Oh my God, so nice to meet you." And Aizawa, if you're thinking, is Aizawa married now? Yes, after having Toga. He thought they needed a mother figure. Miss Joke was kept on flirting with him. So he was like, he proposed. He just says, "Yeah, I'll go on a date with you." So after a while, almost a year, he proposed to her. She said yes, and yeah, she moved in. She met Toga. and everything happened. Even explaining about Izuku. She already knew that, but saying like how he helps her out and stuff. And and about her quirk, and she's like, "How dare that vile of a woman basically say that about my daughter?" Which Togo's like, "But I'm," and then Joke says, "No, you're not. You're not a villain. You're not a monster. You're nothing. You are basically my daughter, and I love you." Which automatically mother mode kicked in. So yeah. But anyways, back to Mitsuki. Glad to see his fiance uh, talking about her how he was when she knew him, but so glad that he finally found somebody. He did also get his console back. If you're wondering, he did get his game console. So yeah, he has made up with Stain a few times too during the when he was 11 and 12. So yeah. But anyways, so he goes back into small my form. Izumi knows this too. But anyways, Bako did get one for all. Guys, I'm wondering and well, he was Yo Midoriya. I mean Yonaizawa. What is it? He was one for all is well something wrong with it. I want to have your guys' permission to check out and see what's wrong with it. So yeah, as Bako says, dude, I trust you. And even All Might. So he basically takes a little bit of his skin cells and blood too, as then all of a sudden, a massive amount of power is filled within him. And he's like, what the? What? What the? Oh my. He's getting all the memories, all the previous users, and then he just finally says this. No, he even sees the first user, and then he says, hold up to him. And what happens is, he just tells him, this quirk could have killed you. He's like, huh? Even Mitsuki's going like, huh? He explains what happened, why it's so powerful now, that he, like, the fourth user basically did too much training with it, and it could have killed him if he had it in him any longer. So it was like, but now it's weak enough so where it won't kill him, since he has half of the power. Don't worry, it's still powerful on its own. It's just that he has the power that's the excess to the point where it's a good, safe position for him to actually use the quirk without killing him. Which All Might looked at Bakugo and they look at Zuko. They both look at him and they go like, "Oh shit!" Just like oh shit moment. Mitsuki like hits All Might, Toshinori across the head. I saying, "You could have killed your nephew, you idiot!" And he goes, "Sorry, sis, but you know, I didn't know." He says, "I know, but still, use your brain for once." It's like, you always were the smart one of the group, out of us. Just, I hate covering your butt in class all the time too. So yeah, and well, after that, he basically goes, "Give me a minute." He goes into the mindscape. He meets all the previous users. Then he meets the first user. He was like, "Hey, the first, the person who had it. Thanks for saving the kid. Really, it was really a good thing. So thanks. We talked about it as soon as said they took the quirk, well, part of it at least. So, you're allowed to use this excess power any way you want to. All right, all these quirks are yours. You can handle it. You don't really have any bones, so the power won't break them." He's like, "Yeah, hold on, I'll be right back." So he leaves the mindscape. He tells All Might and Bakugo. He tells All Might saying, you could gave it to somebody who would have had a quirk that was a stockpiling one, or energy-based quirk that would have get rid of the excess energy. Like, because of I know a girl named Nejire. Her quirk would have been better. As in the first user says, "Come in here right now, please, please." So he goes, "Hold on," and then he goes back in. The first user just music grabs him, goes like, "No, she would have not been good." He goes, "Why? She would have not been able to keep the secret. Trust me, she's a third year, but she also reminds me of a girl I knew way back when." As then he just has the image of the girl just chatting, gossiping, telling secrets of her friends and such, and it's less like annoying blabbermouth. As then like all the users just had popcorn without him ever noticing, and then he goes, "This is the mindscape and we all saw it." He's like, As then he Nana Shimura goes like, "So she would have been a blabbermouth if she got the quirk." He goes, "Oh, she reminds me of it. Of that, she's probably the great great granddaughter of her." So yeah, I wouldn't, I don't want this to be known to the public. I'm sorry to her, but yeah. So, anyways, he comes back out, and let's speed this along. So after that, Bakugo still has the quirk, but it has a safe area for him to use it. So yeah, he's been training with it and his quirk. He can handle up to about 50% since it's at a good safe position for him, and he has been working out with Deku and All Might, and Deku basically, you know, they always go to like he lives with Aizawa, but Aizawa does have like this mansion now because of the Rosus and Momo's mother saying like I'm not gonna have my future son-in-law, not have like the equipment he needs. So it's like they expand his house to almost like a mansion. So yeah, and that's why it's so big and basically has the equipment and train area so much. So anyways, we go to the UA entrance exam. Wait, no, the sludge villain. The sludge villain wouldn't really happen. All Might would have been healed by Izuku. Infected him briefly, then not basically taking it back. But yeah. So even though basically Momo takes the her confidence is up. She's way more outgoing. She's not like always down herself. She has increased her quirk and everything, abilities and such. But yeah, so she's taken the recommendation, and she tells Izuku she'll be watching. Just please win. He goes, I will. She gives him a good luck kiss. Toga's also going to UA. She's been saying, let's do good together. Basically doing like a little pose. Yeah. So what happens is Toga has, because of Izuku, has unlocked her hidden part of her quirk. So, yeah, that's what that means. I gave it to her early. Yes, she can use other people's quirks now. So, people have donated have donated their blood to Aizawa because they told about the quirk and such, about his daughter. So they're like, okay. So yeah. But she has worked out with Suku, so she is somewhat at superhuman levels of strength. Anyways, written portion. He passes it. Top score, Bako 2. He's basically even, but he did go far beyond to being Momo. It's like so she's not upset by this. She knew it. So yeah, and then the fighting portion. Well, here's how it's gonna go. Momo and Todoroki are watching. She's like leaning against well, she's leaning against the railing, just basically just watching and smiling with a little bit of a blush. As Todoroki does say, so what's so good about this? Just because, well, somebody I like is gonna show off. I'm gonna love it. So yeah, so he did also meet Araka, but it's like, hey, not really. Ida, Ida did exactly the same thing. He just told Ida to shut it, let President Mike speak. He was about to talk about it, and plus, it's on this. He shows the pamphlet about the 0 pointers there, saying if you actually looked and read it, you would have been known. And he goes, I am Ida Tenya, blah blah blah. He goes like, yeah, your brother. Hold on. Yeah, your brother Tensei is better than you. He's way more nicer, and plus, the only reason why is you're just taking this is probably because you're just way too uptight, and your parents did not want to give you the recommendation if you're a part of a hero family. So yeah, sorry, sit down. So after the biggest roast ever, yeah, we're going to this part now. As he goes up to Araka, she looks nervous and goes, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "Oh, hi." Ida didn't have enough time to get in the way, so yeah. He goes, "You nervous?" She goes, "Mm-hmm." He goes, "Well, don't be. Just calm down, take a deep breath, and then let your mind be at calm and peace after a few minutes, alright?" She nods and she listens, and does work. She goes, "Thanks." He goes, "No problem." Anyways, he does crack his neck a little bit, and he goes "This is gonna be easy for me, so, good luck." She goes, "You too." When President Mike goes, when those doors open, you better. And then Zuko just runs, jumps over the so high up to the basically the gate, puts his hand over it, volleys over it, lands, and just starts running, basically destroying all the robots, as many as he can instantly. As the doors open, as everyone's saying, that's cheating! As basically President Mike says, no, it's not. Now quit complaining because there's no basic time limit with a hero, and I've been fighting the battle, so go, basically. And they all rushed in. And in a matter of 20 to 30 minutes, Izuku has basically 450 robots destroyed. Bakugo, well, he's not in that area, but he's closely behind. But Izuku just keeps on destroying. So about another 25 minutes, basically 750. Bakugo, 500. His arms are hurting now, but yeah. The zero pointer does happen. Uraraka is about to be crushed. Izuku goes in and saves her, but he does it by devouring the leg of the robot, and then instantly jumps up in the air. Wings come out. Hand turns into the fist that then has like claws coming off of it. Flies over to it, basically punching the robot. Oh wait, I forgot something. But yeah, okay. So after that happens, after he basically goes right for the robot, he goes over to the head, rips it off, and throws it down to the ground. But then starts devouring all the inside of the robot, basically eating it. And just after it's all done, he lands on the ground with his wings going back inside of him. He goes, full. Thanks for the meal, Nez. So, but there's somebody in this proctor exam that runs over to him, because he's going over to Araka. This girl tries to help, as she goes, she basically helps Araka get out, and they basically walk over to recover girl, and that's when the timer leaves. And well, Izuku's walking away, she goes, "Wait a minute," her Japanese is not good, so she goes like, "Hello, as Izuku is just thinks to himself, American, great." So he just walks away, goes like, "Rude," and she goes, "Hey, can you please talk to me?" He's like, "Oh, sorry, I don't really speak much American," because she can speak Japanese just a little. She's like, "Oh, well, I'm Pony. It's nice to meet you." He shakes her hand, and basically, well, this is when he understands about Pony's life and everything. He's like, "Great, got a basically general who knows about the Blacklight virus." So now, so right when he thinks this, somebody who is basically making sure Pony is safe for her father, because she is American who transfer over. This is the general theme of it. He basically sees the fight with Izawa, what he can do and such, and he goes, "That's not a cork. That's not a cork." He basically gets the video, sends it to her father, and yeah. So after that, well, let's just say is he already knew he got in. Izawa texts him saying, "You're in," along with Momo. He goes, "Yes." So, but the governor of Japan gets a message from America, and basically he's saying, "Why do you have a blacklight virus? Having the blacklight virus in there, that's American property, American weapon, blah 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 blah." And so he just says he was born in Japan. He's a Japan resident. He is human now. He has feelings. He has emotions. He's not no weapon. And since he's a Japan resident, born and raised, he's not no weapon to you no more, and not your property. And we knew about this. We knew about this. We talked to him. We questioned him. We knew. We didn't think about telling you because he's a human being. Get it for your heads. So, bye. Hands up the call. But then he basically calls right back. This video chat. And he was like, "What?" He goes, "Also, I'm going to tell him, if you come after him, anytime, with American soldiers, ready to kill him, take him back, subdue him, or anything, he's allowed to kill you. Just kill your soldiers, kill your men, eat them, take their corks, whatever. The more you send, the more he kills, the more he gets information, and he wins. So try him. I dare you." Boom. Hangs up the call. That pissed off Pony's father so much. So yeah, and well, the governor of Japan tells him what he said to the general, and then that's it. He goes, "All right." He texts his Momo that. No, Momo was right there. She goes, "Well," he goes, Americans know about me. They're gonna try to get me back, and if they do, I'm gonna kill them. And she goes, please, just be safe. He's like, fine. So, but he does make a necklace for her, gives it to her, attach it around her neck. He goes, just so I know what you are always, all right? She goes, mm-hmm. And then they just kiss. And that's where I'm ending it off, everyone. Hope you liked the video. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are, and bye.